All right, so everyday truth. I do these everyday truths because I feel like there's something to learn. I feel like art does not happen in a vacuum. It is way more emotional and evolutionary and telling about the people we are and the people we're becoming. And I think for a very long time, I thought, oh, well, they're just a great artist because, that's what they do and I don't have the skill or whatever we do to self-defeat. But I'm starting to learn that the idea of tapping into that vulnerability, that rawness, that literal language of translating emotion into color and brushwork on a canvas is something that is so powerful. Again, a year ago, I would have been like, right. But this idea of risk, I guess that's really what the topic I want to discuss today is, risk. What does that mean? That can mean a lot of things to a lot of people. But I'm just going to kind of tell you about me and the idea of taking a risk. I've always kind of been a challenger. I've always been the type of person that if someone tells me no, I figure out a way yes. Doesn't mean it always involved risk, especially when it meant exposing myself. Clearly, I could expose everything else, but when it came to really exposing the vulnerability of myself or making myself vulnerable through taking a risk, I'm not sure I was like, yeah, all gangbusters for it. So a couple months ago, I had a moment where I could either take the risk or not take the risk. And I chose to take the risk. The moment I walked away from that, I felt bigger, powerful. I felt like something had changed. I literally unzipped my skin and left who I was behind and walked out with an entirely new being that was cleaner and fresher and bolder and more beautiful. And it is so obvious in my artwork now as I'm painting that I am looking at that vulnerability. I am looking in that beauty. I am looking for the voice in my brushwork to guide me to where it wants to go. And somebody just recently looked at my artwork and they're like, how did you do that? And my answer was, I don't know. I don't know how it happened. I've never done that before. I've never even thought of painting like that. I've never thought of painting subjects that way. And I think that idea of risk, like I said, could be as minimal or as great as you can imagine, limited to only your imagination. But I think we don't grow if we don't take the leap. And that leap is literally the defining moment between stationary and being surrounded by energy. And that sounds so hokey, but literally I have felt like I have been consumed with energy and idea and life. This idea of becoming, this idea that it is not who I am standing stationary, but it's who I can be at any given time in that momentum of that risk-taking, making yourself vulnerable, putting yourself out there, and being willing to fail or just being free. I'm going to go with maybe just being free. I have felt freer while painting. And when I do get tight in my painting, I try to throw that right out the door. So I don't know, today might not have been such a moving everyday truth, but finding that voice in your art, finding who you are, I think we're all on a search for that. What does that mean? We have this perception that others have found that answer, and that is the answer, and we just haven't, it's eluded us. But I think the better answer to who are we as an artist, what is our style, what should we be doing, when is a painting done, is going to be a part of a never ending evolution. And some of those evolutionary moments are going to be powerful. They're going to be life changing. They're going to extract parts of you that you didn't know you even had to tap into. And some of them are going to just kind of float you along. Being able to take a risk, being able to not be afraid and to do something that you've never done before and to do something that is legitimately just for you, whether it's in your art or in your life, helps you find the voice that you need as an artist and the story that you need to tell as an artist. And I feel right now, I am in the beginnings of a story. I have something to say. I have something to share. And I'm so grateful that you're here to listen to it, because I have a feeling it's going to be one of the greatest stories I've ever had to tell.